You see they're dry. You see there's no marrow in the bone. You see they're scattered all over the valley. They ain't even full skeletons. I mean, the bones are scattered all over the valley. They're just bones. But answer me a question, Ezekiel. Can these bones live? Ezekiel answers the only way he knows how to answer. Lord, you know. Critical race theory was born out of critical legal theory. Am I teaching y'all something today? There emerged two common beliefs linking all critical race theories. First, white supremacy has subordinated black people and other people of color. That's just a fact. How in the world are you going to fight against that being taught in any school? White supremacy has subordinated black people and other people of color. That's a fact. Why don't you want that to be taught in school? You let your schools teach us that Columbus discovered America. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that George Washington couldn't tell a lie. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that some slave owners were beneficent and good slave owners. There were no good slave owners. Anybody who owned people was evil. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that Abraham Lincoln was good for Negroes. No, Abraham Lincoln was trying to save the Union. And Abe Lincoln himself said if he could save the Union and keep black people in chains, he would do it. That's a lie. Come on, somebody. You let them teach us about a white Jesus. You let them teach us that Native Americans were the aggressors. Come on, somebody. That white folk had a manifest destiny and that the pilgrims were good and Native Americans. That's a lie. All day, every day, you let them teach us lies. All throughout my history in school, I was taught lies. But you got a problem with critical race theory because it teaches the truth that white supremacy has subordinated black people and people of color. The right to bear arms. Let me just back up a little bit and let me take you on back to the late 1960s when Ronald Reagan was the governor of California. And they were oppressing black folk, and a group of men and women known as the Black Panther Party decided that they were going to defend the rights of black folk. And the Black Panthers decided that the Second Amendment wasn't just for white folk. So they strapped themselves with guns and showed up at the Capitol in California. And when they saw them Negroes with guns, come on, somebody. That's why I say if you ever really want to get gun laws changed, just strap all these Negroes up. They'll change them laws before the week is over. When the Black Panthers, watch this, I want you to read, the California legislator passed what was called the Mulford Act. It was a gun control act that decided who could get guns, who couldn't get guns, what could be in your background, what couldn't be in your background. It was the first time in history that the National Rifle Association, the NRA, supported restrictive gun legislation, all because black folk had the nerve to get strapped. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, go get strapped. Amen, somebody. Y'all gonna say Bishop told us to get strapped. I said it. Go get strapped. It just got real quiet up in here. But y'all already know I'm a triple P. Amen. Y'all know what a triple P is, right? A pistol packing preacher. Peace, fam. Good morning to you. Welcome to the Black Love Experience, another edition on Friday morning. Do me a favor, like, share, subscribe. Let somebody know we're on the air right now. Got a little bit of jazz playing in the background. Go to WTCCFM.org. You can go to TuneIn Radio. You can go to iHeartRadio. All of those places, and listen to the music till we bring up something that you can hear. Because y'all already know how it go. With Facebook shutting down streams and stuff like that. So rep your city, rep your town. Let me know where you're chiming in from. Rep your city, rep your town. Oh, let me get. I don't got my Instagrammers on, man. Peace to the gram. I got the gram on now. Let me get my Twitter spacers on. All right, got the Twitter space in. All right, Twitter space is in. Everybody's on deck now. Just got to share it. Share it to a few groups. Good morning. Houston and New Jersey in the building. Who else is it? Who else is in here? Who else we got in the building? All right. Let's go now. While she's there waiting, try a little tenderness. That's what you gotta do. All right. It's not just sentimental, no, no. her griefs and cares. But the soft words it makes it easier. A little tenderness. All right, let's go.
Talk to me, Daddy. Talk to me, Daddy. Talk to me, Daddy. Talk to me, Daddy. A positive attitude says everything about you. Attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. Every day you get up, you've been given a gift. That's why they call it the present. And it's up to you of how you unwrap it. So yesterday is history, tomorrow's a mystery, today is a gift. So don't let the pain of your past bleed into your present and poison your future. Stop replaying the movie. Why did this happen to me?
All right,
done with you,
let's go.
If it seems like you keep running into pigeons, it's an indication that you're flying too low. So set your sights a little higher. Remember, eagles fly by themselves. If you can see the invisible, you can do the impossible. Allow your challenges to be a stepping stone to propel you into new possibilities. So be discontent with your past accomplishment. You're only as great as your last success. So maintain your hunger and your passion. Remember this, within every seed there is a tree, and every tree there is a forest. Who and what you were born into is simply the environment to prepare you for your ultimate purpose. It was not a setback, it was a setup. Your purpose and potential is bigger than your past pain or problem. Another talk dedicated to you. Listen to your heart, don't let your mind fool you. Another talk dedicated to you. Whatever you do is gonna surely come back to you. Successful people will do the things they hate to get the things they love. Much of life is about sacrifice. You gotta give up something to get something. Success is not about what you've accomplished, but it's what you have overcome. For it's the test that you pass in life which qualifies you for the next level. You have to be willing to face your challenges and overcome them. Most people drive 12,000 miles a year moving forward, but most accidents are caused when they move backwards. You gotta stay focused on what's ahead of you.
90.7 WTCC. Good morning and welcome to the Black Love Experience. I'm your host, Bishop Talbert Swan, the second TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. I want to thank Deacon Ernie Johnson bringing us up into the 9 o'clock hour with Friday morning inspirations. Great way to end your work week and to roll into the weekend, bringing you the best in gospel music every Friday morning from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Whole lot of stuff going on. Tesla's burning. They're declaring folks to be domestic terrorists if you vandalize a Tesla, and we're going to talk about that. He signed an executive order to abolish the Department of Education, which is completely illegal because you cannot do by presidential executive order. You can't undo something that was enacted by Congress. So of course it's going to go to court, and this is a train wreck. But y'all knew who this guy was. People knew who this guy was. I got no tears for the Trumpers that are going through, that are whining and crying about, oh, this is not what we signed up for. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You just signed up for it to happen to somebody else. Yeah, you absolutely signed up for this. You just were okay as long as it was happening to somebody else. Long as it was happening to the people that you hate, it was okay with you. But you didn't expect it to knock on your door. But here it is. And he doesn't care anything about you. We told y'all that. We told y'all he didn't care nothing about you broke Trumpers. He cares about billionaires. He cares nothing about y'all. What y'all drank the Kool-Aid. And here we are. Here we are, 60 days in, 2 months in, and we got 4 years of this stuff left. It's wild. It is wild. So I want to deal with this Tesla terrorism stuff, because they don't want to call the people who burn Tulsa terrorists. But if you burn a Tesla, you're a terrorist. Burning cars is terrorism, but mass murdering black people ain't. They never called Dylan Roof a terrorist. They never charged him with terrorism. But the Attorney General said she's going to charge anybody who damages a Tesla with domestic terrorism. Amazing. 413-736-2781. 413-736-2781 is the number here if you want to chime in on the conversation. Do me a favor, rep your city, rep your town. Let me know where you are chiming in from. H-Town is in the house. The 413 is in the house. Charlotte, North Carolina is in the house. Raleigh, North Carolina is in the house. Norfolk, Virginia is in the house. Arizona is in the house. Pensacola, New Jersey is in the house. Houston a few more times is up in the building. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Let's get it. Good morning from Georgia. I don't know what part of Georgia, but welcome, Georgia, in the house. Quebec, always in the house. Canada. Kansas City, Kansas is in the house. Los Angeles is in the house. New York City is in the house. The ATL is in the house. Johannesburg is in the building. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Rep your city, rep your town. Let me know where you coming in from. Where's the field? I saw 1413. Where's the rest of y'all in the field? The Shy is in the house. Currently in New York City, but live in the Shy. Okay. Good morning, good morning, good morning to everybody from everywhere. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Don't touch that dial. Don't you dare go nowhere. Tell a friend, tell somebody Bishop is on the air. Like, share, subscribe. We'll be right back.
You say you sold out because black women are loud and crass. What? And your precious white woman is the epitome of class?
Are you so blind that you cannot see? That pale girl child.
Okay, Hampton. Okay, Gainesville. Okay, Cleveland.
Have stood by your
All right.
accepted your flaws and allowed you your pride, bore your children and cleaned up your mess, satisfied your lust and always.
Okay, South Carolina.
In the background and
yes.
You to lead, trusting in your strength and ability to succeed, never getting the praise and credit we deserve.
Where y'all at, Twitter Spacers? Where y'all coming in from?
For being the backbone that has kept it together for you and our children in all
kinds of weather.
Now suddenly you say we're not good enough for you. We forced you to sell out because of the things we did. Well, where was that white woman when that white man you hate was
cracking the whip?
In the boardroom, the warehouse, and on
the slave ship.
By his side and didn't say a word, waiting for her own chance to rule and be heard. And now it's her you turn to and treat like a queen. And me and my sisters you choose to demean? Well, hold up, wait a minute, and stop the damn bus. Because there are a few things I need to remind you about us. A more beautiful creature God never made than an African woman, no matter her shade. High, yellow, red bone, or
cocoa brown.
We are more than worthy of wearing a crown. Ebony, mocha, or black as the night. It is we who have always shared in your plight. We are passionate, spiritual, loving, and kind. A more generous heart you'll never find than the one that beats inside the body of a Nubian queen, the hardest working, loving, giving woman you've ever seen. For we give and forgive until there's little left. Then we're forced to put up our guard to avoid your theft. The theft of our hearts and our trust, the very nature
of our soul.
By our so-called brothers who are just playing a role. And you wonder why some of us act as we do? Take a look in the mirror, because the answer is you.
Is you.
It's not enough that the white man has always tried to keep us down, but our own men act as though they'd love to see us drown. And white women have never invited us to join their equal rights struggle. So we're out here alone with a million things we juggle, raising the children that black men leave behind, and dealing with the racism of the daily corporate grind. Damn, it's no wonder some of us are loud. Hell, we're just trying to be heard. In a world where everyone, including our men, ignore our every word. Where are the brothers who understand a black woman's worth? Right here. Who will protect and stand by us, for we are the salt of this earth. We birthed you, raised you, and showered you with love. It was we who taught you to love your creator above. We gave you all we had and taught you to be men. Open your eyes, it is us, your black sisters.
Your black sisters.
Kind who rate a perfect 10. And one final word for the sellout to
claim to be brothers.
When you turn your back on us, you disrespect your mothers. Did you hear that? This is a response to the sellout.
That's a response to the sellout. 413-736-2781. I don't need to tell you who you are. Y'all already know who you is. 413-736-2781. Let me get this played here.
And opinions expressed on this program are solely those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of the staff or management of WTCC Radio or Springfield Technical Community College.
90.7 WTCC. Good morning to each and every one of you who are tuning in, both in terms of over our 4,000 watts here in the Pioneer Valley, and those of you who are tuned in over the internet. Good morning, caller. Oh, there we go. They were doing this same thing on Monday. I was getting all these robocalls, and maybe it's during the 9 o'clock hour that they start the robocalls. But why they do them to the radio station, I don't know. So y'all just bear with me, because usually I see the phone ring, I think it's a caller, but anyhow,
You want to on the also you can put the always in wherever we are on social media. So good morning to everybody. Saw some more folks that were checking in. I got Hampton, Virginia in the house. I got Gainesville, Georgia in the house. I got Cleveland in the house. I got Beach Island, South Carolina in the house. I got Dallas, Texas in the house. I got Marietta, Georgia in the house. I got Aiken, South Carolina up in the house. Yeah, South Kakalaki is kicking it up in here. Let's see, who else do we have in? I got another Chicago. I got Cincinnati in the house. Good morning to everybody from everywhere who's chiming in on the program. I hate to even go to the phone lines because I think yes, it's there we go. There we go. I'm just not gonna answer the phone today unless it comes in online too, because and we'll have to talk to the station about blocking that number or whatever, because it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I mean, back to back to back to back to back. Anyway, so let me just give you a little synopsis before I go into this Tesla thing. I need for y'all to understand this whole Department of Education thing, because see, what happens is dumb people, and I hate to use that term, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Maybe I should say ignorant people or something like that. Whatever. People who don't know what the hamburger they're talking about, who have no sense of history and just buy into anything, any type of propaganda this administration puts out there. So they say it, they repeat it. We don't need the Department of Education. Yeah, we don't need the Department of Education. They just say, repeat whatever they've been told. They are blind. They are robots. They are ignorant people who have no sense of history, no sense of how government works, no sense of anything. And so this whole plan, which is illegal, it's going to be challenged in the court, I have no doubt. But this whole plan to dismantle the Department of Education through executive order is not just a misguided policy. It's an immoral assault. And particularly on Black students. It's an assault on civil rights. It's an assault on the foundation of democracy. It is basically the resurrection of a segregationist ideology that's cloaked in political rhetoric. This is what you have to understand. And Black folk, we got to do better about understanding and learning our history anyway. The creation of the Department of Education is like the spiritual cousin of those who, after the 1954 Brown versus Board of Education decision, let me put it like this: the decision to abolish the Department of Education is the spiritual cousin of those who wanted to burn Black schools after the 1954 Brown versus Board of Education decision, rather than integrate them. It was the people who were standing outside blocking Black students from entering in. This is not about reforming education. This is about regression. The Department of Education was established in part, this is what you have to understand, to enforce civil rights laws. All right, like Title VI, Title IX. It was created to protect historically marginalized students who would otherwise be left behind. This is the reason they're going after the Department of Education. You have to understand the reason it was created. By eliminating the Department of Education, the Trump administration wants to erase the federal government's role in ensuring equity and access to education, especially for Black children. That's the rationale behind it. And we got ignorant Black folk out here agreeing with it when it's going to affect their children and grandchildren. The consequences, if they're successful in doing this, would be catastrophic. You got federal funding that's provided through Title I that helps level the playing field for under-resourced school districts, districts that disproportionately serve Black and other non-white children. And without these resources, we're going to return to a nation where a child's zip code and far too often their race is going to determine their destiny. I'm going to deal with this subject in more detail in Monday's program. So tune in on Monday and I'll deal in detail with the catastrophic consequences if they're successful in abolishing the Department of Education. This agenda, for those who said, oh, Trump don't have nothing to do with Project 2025. This agenda is straight out of the Project 2025 playbook. And if Trump had nothing to do with Project 2025, how come everything that's in Project 2025 is consistent with everything this administration has done over the last 60 days? Everything. Is it a coincidence that every executive order, every move that they have made was spoken about in detail in Project 2025? It's not a coincidence, y'all. Not at all. 413-736-2781. Camel Smooth Flavor. You got the microphone.
You know, you're probably, I don't know, some people in here are probably going to hate me for saying this, but I blame the Democrats as well. The Democrats have never fought for us. They've only fought for the elderly, the LGBT, the immigrants, everybody but us. And they're not doing anything. Brother, you and I, everybody in this room, saw John Boehner, some guy who represents a tiny part of a city and trailer parks, stonewall Obama for 8 fucking years. So the fact that the Democrats aren't doing anything about us, that makes me even more anti-Democrat. Shows exactly where they are. No, I'm not a Republican, but I don't like these people acting as the, what do you want to call it? Acting as the illusion of choice for the Republicans like they do. They don't fight for us, and this is why they lost. And yeah, I agree. Well, President Trump is leading us to a shitstorm, absolutely. But the Democrats would never have stopped it. And them putting that Hindu bed witch up there wasn't going to help either. Because she wasn't about anything but locking us up either. That's all I'm going to say. And one more thing, let me know if I'm going too long. But I have a son with autism, okay? I watched him go from struggling to acknowledge people's existence to now, you know, being an advanced program student, AP, everything, passing the AP exams, playing the fucking cello. He's going to go to and pursue medicine. We're hoping for William and Mary, but maybe James Madison University. I mean, he is off the fucking charts at the top.
Okay,
and
brother.
Yeah, I do owe that.
We got it. I'm live on the air, on the radio, so the cussing has to stop. Yeah. So for the rest of y'all, we can't do that on the air. In the Twitter space, yes, but you're coming live over the air, so you gotta keep them 4-letter words. You know, you got to keep them to yourself. Good morning, caller.
Yes, sir. Robert Bishop Swan. My name is Sean Robinson.
Yes, sir.
I'm a political prisoner. I am a political prisoner. I'm listening to your shows, very enlightening. I'm not a robocaller, though. I've been trying to call you with a free call from within the prison system. So I don't want you to think that I'm trying to robocall you. Now, it was nothing like that.
Oh, I got you. I just know on Monday that there was some telemarketers that kept going through over and over again.
No, that was me, sir. That's just the automation from the collect call, how they got it set up. Now, I apologize if you thought it was a prank call or robo call, whatever that was. No, sir. I don't play no games. I'm very thankful for WTCC and the programs have brought me through a lot of hard times behind these walls. And I wanted to tell you, man, keep doing what you're doing. Real, very enlightening show, man. And I heard about last week you mentioned about your sister Rhonda. Last time I heard her, she used to do the show before she went down to Virginia. That's how long I've been listening to WTCC. And my condolences to you and your dear beloved family, bro.
I appreciate that, brother.
Yeah. Keep what you're doing. When I call, don't think it's a robocall, though.
I got you. Appreciate you, man, and stay strong.
You too. Be safe, man. Be safe.
All right, peace. 413-736-2781. 413-736-2781 is the number here. So let's get this straight and understand what yeah, Francesca, I heard that too. Understand what the federal government is now saying. Understand what the Attorney General of the United States is actually saying. She's saying that killing black people is not terrorism, but vandalizing a Tesla is. I need y'all to understand that. I need y'all to clearly understand where we are in these yet to be United States of America. Burning a Tesla, you will be labeled, according to the Attorney General of these yet to be United States of America, you will be labeled as a domestic terrorist. You will be tried. You will be charged with terrorist activities. Okay? Now, let's just think about that for a minute. In the 50s and 60s, and even in the 90s, I remember fighting in the 90s. I remember a police officer here calling with a racist call to my church because he was upset that we were raising money to help black churches that were being burned in the 90s. So for those of y'all who think that kind of activity is ancient history, it ain't ancient history. It's not ancient history. We were raising money to rebuild black churches for a spate of black churches that were being burned in the 90s. They refused. Federal government refused to call it terrorism. Black churches being burned all over the South. They refused to call it terrorism. They called it arson, like they were all separate, unrelated acts of arson. I mean, forget every other day a black church was burning. but they would not label it as terrorism. But burn some Teslas, and it's terrorism. It should be vandalism. It should be arson, just like they did with the black churches. But she said, her words, quote, nothing short of domestic terrorism, end quote. Nothing short of domestic terrorism. So let's be clear. That declaration is asinine. And not only is it asinine, it's dangerous. Donald Trump said illegal boycotts of Tesla is domestic terrorism. What? When did boycotts become illegal? What is an illegal boycott of Tesla? So if I don't buy from Tesla, I'm a domestic terrorist? Boycotts are a constitutionally protected form of protest used by civil rights activists, labor movements, etc. But in Trump's America, dissenting voices are becoming criminalized, at least when it threatens the fragile egos of the rich and powerful like Elon Musk. Now remember, Elon Musk, there's a video out of Elon Musk saying that the fundamental weakness of America is empathy. He really said that. The fundamental weakness is empathy. In other words, if you care about people, you care about their situation, that's a weakness. That's why he can go in with this DOGE, this illegal department that doesn't exist, and mass fire people, take away people's health care, people's pensions, people's livelihood, and throw families into turmoil. That's why he can do that and joke about it. Come out with a chainsaw. He posted a meme yesterday of Donald Trump posing at a gravestone marker that said Department of Education, like boasting about his executive order to abolish the Department of Education. The hell with the catastrophic damage it's going to do in terms of the education of our children, all of the lives it's going to affect in terms of those who lose their jobs and stuff. He's joking about it because he believes empathy is a weakness, and so he has none. He's a soulless demon. But yet he was crying about his Teslas. I thought the Democrats were the party of empathy. Oh, now you want some empathy. When Teslas burn, you want empathy. But when little children can't eat because you fired their parents, empathy is a weakness. This man is a demon. Trump is a demon. These folks are wicked. Bottom line, they're demons. And under them being in control of the government, they have gutted federal programs that serve the most vulnerable. They have slashed health care. They've slashed pensions for federal workers. They're erasing Black history from educational curricula, erasing Jackie Robinson's military experience. They erased Colin Powell from the Arlington National Cemetery website. They're redirecting resources to favor the wealthy and the connected. And then they wonder why there's outrage against Elon Musk and his enterprises. They wonder why people want to boycott Tesla, why people want to burn Teslas. You're ruining the lives of tens of thousands of people, and you wonder why people are mad? So the outrage against Tesla and Elon Musk and anything associated with Elon Musk is not terrorism, Miss Bondi. It's righteous resistance. It's righteous resistance. But see, they've got this selective application of the word terrorism, and it speaks volumes about who they choose to protect and who they choose to vilify. Where was this same condemnation? Where was this same declaration of calling people terrorists when white supremacists laid siege on the U.S. Capitol on January 6th? Where was this outrage when these insurrectionists urinated and defecated in the halls of Congress, shattered windows, brutalized police officers, chanted about hanging the vice president of the United States, and attempted to overthrow the government? Where was this labeling of people as terrorists? And yet, those terrorists were not universally condemned. They were rebranded as patriots. And many of them have been pardoned by Trump, and they've been embraced by the political right. They're not terrorists, but burning a Tesla makes you a terrorist. Good morning, caller. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Bishop Swan. You know I never call in, but I couldn't let that dude slide with all the negative energy.
All right.
Wonder if he realizes that the reason why his autistic child has been able to thrive is because of the policies in the Department of Education. So, what that means is, with all of that going away, and potentially, the child will not receive whatever services that are dictated by the Department of Education.
Absolutely, because it would be up to the individual states, and where you got Republican administrations, those states are not going to provide the same level of services that are mandated by the federal DOE.
That's all I'm going to say. Now, it's neither Democrat nor Republican. It really is about having a heart loving and empathy, and making sure that the American people get the resources that they need, which, by the way, is our money. It's not the government's money.
There you go. I think that's the biggest point. Thank you. I think that's the biggest point people forget. That ain't Trump's money. That ain't Elon Musk's money. That's our money. Our tax dollars pay for that. That's why it kills me every time he threatens he's going to withhold federal funding from any state, any school, any entity that does something that he doesn't like it's his personal money. That's our money. And what, my solution is, you know what? Just don't pay any federal taxes while that fool is in office. How about that? How about we all just stop paying federal taxes while he's in office and pay those taxes to our individual states and let our states take care of us? And then let's see how much federal money he got to withhold from people. Good morning, caller.
Hello, Bishop.
Yes.
I like to say, in the infamous words of Michael Che from Saturday Night Live, how could you expect the people that make you sick to make you better?
I hear you. All right. Appreciate the call. 413-736-2781. Question: where was the national outrage by these folks who are upset about these Teslas when Dylan Roof walked into Mother Emanuel AME Church in Charleston, South Carolina, and murdered 9 black people in the sanctuary? He was never charged as a terrorist. He was never called a domestic terrorist. He wasn't dehumanized in the media. In fact, the police brought him to Burger King before they gently took him into custody. How many times have people, when Peyton Gentry murdered 10 black people at the Tops supermarket in Buffalo, they didn't call him a domestic terrorist. But we got this hysterical reaction to breaking the windshields of Teslas and fire damaging luxury cars. And let me suggest to you that there's a deeper sickness here. It's a racialized double standard that's rooted in America's DNA. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Bishop. How you doing?
I'm good.
Of South Carolina.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I want, first of all, to say I appreciate everything you have done, all your great work. Glory to God for everything you've done.
Thank you, sir.
I have a comment also. I hear a lot of folks complain about what the Democrats have not done for them. And they don't realize where we are at now is based on the work of all people, especially Democrats. And so instead of complaining, as I hear so many people do, I went to the barbershop yesterday, had to face the same subject. We need to all get involved, grab one another, hand in hand, arm in arm, and say, look, we're going to move forward. If they want to do away with the Department of Education, I don't like it, you don't like it. But we're going to move forward. We're going to educate our folks. We're going to do whatever we got to do to make it to the next level. And so I really appreciate everything you do and everything everybody associates with you. So thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your platform, for your generosity, for your love of humanity. Just thank you, sir.
All right. Appreciate the call. 413-736-2781. Here, black people have survived without a DOE. It you know, it's y'all need to worry about. When you begin to talk about, and here's the thing, they're talking about, okay, we're going to label y'all as domestic terrorists for burning Teslas, and at the same time, we're going to erase the history of the domestic terrorism perpetrated by white folks on black folks throughout the annals of American history. So entire black communities have been burned to the ground just because they were black communities. Black people were murdered and entire communities were burned to the ground. East St. Louis, check the history. You know, we think about the ones that come up that we've seen movies about, like Rosewood, but there are over 100 cities where black communities were literally burned to the ground. East St. Louis, Atlanta, Omaha, Chicago. Of course, you know about Tulsa, Oklahoma, Rosewood. And they were not isolated incidents. They were organized white supremacist massacres. They were acts of domestic terrorism, but they want to wipe those from the history books. Rather than memorialize those atrocities, they want to erase them from the textbook. They want to erase Black pain from the national consciousness. But today, the Trump Musk regime has the audacity to declare that damage to electric vehicles, cars owned by billionaires and tech moguls, is somehow a greater threat to this nation than the state-sanctioned and historically unpunished slaughter of Black people. Let that sink in. Because this ain't about law and order. It's about control. It's about silencing dissent. It's about protecting the power structure and not the people. This is the same America that vilifies poor and marginalized communities for resisting oppression while glorifying violent white mobs as defenders of democracy. It's a warped reality. Black rage equals terrorism, but white violence is free speech. That's the double standard. Property destruction by protesters is condemned more harshly than government policies that destroy lives. And let's make it clear, nobody's advocating for arson or violence, although I don't give a hamburger how many Teslas they burned. I will admittedly tell you that. I got no cares to give about how many cars Elon Musk loses, because he don't care about how many lives he destroys. So I don't care. I'm not advocating for arson or for illegal activities, but I'm not crying over it. All right. This administration is trying to weaponize the label of terrorism against anybody who opposes injustice. And at the same time, they're turning a blind eye to the blood that is on their hands. There's a problem in this country when a Tesla car is mourned more than a murdered Black child. Think about that. Something is wrong when you mourn a Tesla car more than a Black person. So let me recap. I got 7 minutes left. Let me recap and give you some action steps. So Trump is currently trying to criminalize boycotting anything to do with Elon Musk. Elon is leading a fabricated Office of Government Efficiency, a position that was invented by Trump to give him power without accountability. He hasn't been confirmed by Congress or anything. The recent arson and vandalism of Teslas is being weaponized to criminalize dissent and deflect from the administration's regressive policies. So, Attorney General Pam Bondi calls it domestic terrorism. Trump says even boycotting his company is terrorism. Yet, actual acts of political violence like January 6th, like Charleston, like racial massacres, are downplayed and rebranded. Why is burning a Tesla considered terrorism but not storming the Capitol? Why is property destruction being elevated above the loss of lives and the destruction of communities. So, protesting against a tech billionaire and his harmful policies is terrorism. But violent white mobs with zip ties, bear spray, and nooses are just concerned citizens. They're just good old patriots. It's a racist double standard. It's a racist double standard. Charleston Church Massacre, no terrorist charge. Tulsa Massacre, no federal recognition or justice. Rosewood, East St. Louis, Atlanta, Chicago, the list goes on. But today, burning a symbol of elite wealth is considered a high crime. What message does that send to Black America? What's worth more in this country, a black life or a luxury car? And let's be clear on Elon Musk. Elon is not a neutral figure. He's complicit in erasing black history and education, in supporting anti-DEI policies, in slashing federal workers' rights, in undermining democracy through disinformation and censorship. And so criticizing Elon is not terrorism, it's accountability. It's accountability. We got some historical amnesia and some selective outrage. Because the same people who want to criminalize protests today are the ones whitewashing it in the past. So here's my message to you. First, don't fall for the bait and switch. Don't fall for the okie doke. Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. All right, somebody put that in the comment section. Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Speak out against injustice, whether it's in the streets, in the classrooms, or in the halls of power. Continue to boycott, to protest, to organize, and to educate. Boycott Tesla, boycott SpaceX, boycott anything to do with Elon Musk, boycott Amazon, boycott Target, boycott Walmart, boycott any of these corporations run by these billionaires that act outside of the best interest of our people. Because they fear your voice and they fear losing your dollars more than they fear fire, more than they fear cars burning. So make your voice heard. All right. Listen, on Monday, I'm going to deal with this Department of Education issue. I think you need to know the historical perspective of why it was created and really need to understand what the consequences are going to be. I don't think he'll be successful in doing it. But because of that budget bill that passed, that Chuck Schumer and 10 Democrats voted for, they significantly cut DOE. So you are going to see a reduction. You are going to see people being fired. And let me tell you exactly how it's going to affect us. So tune in on Monday on the spoken word at 9 o'clock a.m. and we'll deal with that particular issue. If you're in the 413 and you're looking for a place to worship, check us out at the Spring of Hope Church of God in Christ, 35 Alden Street, Bishop Talbert Swan Way, 11 o'clock a.m. on Sunday morning. There's prayer, praise, and preaching. We're building better tomorrows by changing lives today. If you're in the 413, check us out at the Greater Springfield NAACP. Our meeting is Tuesday at 6 o'clock p.m. And listen, stay woke. Forget about how they're trying to change woke into a pejorative. This ain't the time to go to sleep. It's too much craziness happening in this world right now to go to sleep. Oh, and let me shout out another birthday. There's so many March birthdays. My wife's birthday was a couple days ago. My late sister's birthday was a couple days before that. My younger sister's birthday was before that. My twin sons had a birthday on the 10th. But my oldest grandson had a birthday yesterday. Jonah turned 6. Okay? He turned 6. He was the first. I had 9 grandchildren before I finally had a grandson. But, I got him. Don Felton's in the studio. He's coming up next with mid-morning jazz and great black music. So I need y'all to keep it locked right here. He's going to make it smooth. He's going to make it personal. So don't you dare touch that dial. Until the next time I talk to you and you talk to me, always remember, God loves you, and so do I. Peace and blessings.
Good morning, my brother.
How you feel?
Great. How you doing today?
Good.